at and what they're doing about it.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, Uprooted Artist here on the podcast, talking with Hostile Artist. We're going to talk about how black boys in school and how we can support them and how the system's not for majority of people in this world.
Thank you so much for
in
that.
Nottingham
Thank you
specifically.
very much for that very meagre introduction.
It was very meagre. I was not ready for that introduction, mind you.
You might have heard of me, you might not. You might have heard of HolstileArt. So I'm the editor of HolstileArt, which was founded in Nottingham. And we do look at different topics that affect the local community, especially the black community.
Because that's who we are from. That's where we're from.
But we have seen that a lot of the difficulties that we experience in our own communities have transcended into different communities. So we are interested in how different communities, deal with different problems. But today, I was really interested to have a deep talk about young people, young black males within the education system, as there seems to be an unprecedented pattern of decline within this group, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down or being addressed adequately. So, I thought I'd have a little chat, come in and have a little chat today. So if anyone wants to contribute, you're more than happy. But I also want to say thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you, Hostile Artist. It was so amazing having you on our podcast today.
Okay. So my name's Kebab and it's HolstileArt. So if you follow us on Instagram, you'll be able to find us if you just put HolstileArt in. We also do documentaries as well as different sorts of art within contemporary society, and you can also find us on Facebook as well. Just type in HolstileArt. Thank you.
Hello, I'm back again. I was not supposed to end it like that. We don't end things like that. It's a bit premature, if you know what I mean. So as I'm from the art sector in the industry of creativity. My artwork is quite mixed media, but when we come to cultural art and how it could either help us have a voice, I think art should be something that's advertised to the young kids. I believe that music and art and dancing and visual art and all sorts of art would really be helpful for the youth today, because they are very creative, but a lot of people don't have time to listen to them, or they stigmatise them, put them in a group, and it's very hard for them today. I think it is a spiritual warfare battle on the adults and the youth and the young ones, because the young ones are looking up to the teenagers and thinking, wow, I'm going to become them one day. And then we get to adulthood and you don't know what you're doing. Oh, I'm going to be a teenager and then an adult. How difficult is that? How difficult is that to see for the youth today? It's very scary. If I could still be a child now, not for all children, because obviously every experience is different, but the school system see children as innocent. When we get to a teenager, they spit you out like they're being sick. It's like vomit. Ugh. Teenagers, but do you know what? They forget that they was teenagers at one point. We all have to go through it. But there's so much stress. So much stress on the youth.
I think when it comes to stress on the youth, there's been a lot of policies that have come into play relating to obviously children, due to obviously some unprecedented, incidents, that have been in the media. And I think that with this legislation, it kind of not only restricts the parent from being able to obviously intervene in their child's behaviour. But I think obviously when parents are going into, you know, schools and they just feel constantly that they're being like persecuted or whatever, I think it's like I don't think there's enough support for the families that actually like need the support. I don't feel like they're in a position to approach anyone for the support. And even if they did, the support wouldn't be something that's tailored to them. It would be something that's
written in a book.
Yeah, that needs to be ticked, like a tick box sort of system, so that they can be eligible for that support in the first place. So, you know, you've got to disclose everything that you've endured, even though you probably don't, you know, you've probably not even been able to address the support for it, or address the what's happening to you, and you know, you kind of just left, aren't you? And when you're in a cycle like that, I mean, it would have, you know, it would prevent you from being able to have a decent like communication with the school. If you do have a communication breakdown and like obviously your child attends a school, then, you know, you're less likely to have a look at the work and try and find out, you know, what's going on in their life at the school. So I think a lot of it does start from the family in the home, and I think it's important not to just disregard that completely. But then again, when a child is put into the care of the mainstream education system, that child is the responsibility of those practitioners. Therefore, they should be excelling to their absolute best possible potential whilst in their care, because not only are they that person's responsibility, but also they're being paid to make sure that is the case, and obviously they're failing and no one's being held accountable really.
What kind of life skills do you think they need in school in order for our children to blossom, if so to speak? What do we need at school when we left? What did we need?
I think that in the UK,
not educational stuff, like everyday.
I think in the UK, we've got like this thing where we think it's okay to kind of live in a meta universe sort of thing, if you like, because if someone doesn't get on with someone in the UK, they will still smile and say good morning, even though they hate each other. And I think when a child's in school, that the teacher has a responsibility to teach that child things tailored to their like ethnicity, to their circumstances.
So do you think there needs to be a lot more not faith schools but cultural schools?
I don't think there needs I don't think there needs to be more cultural schools. What I think is that practitioners need to synchronise their accreditation to the wider society, because it's there.
So they need to be retaught.
Well, yeah.
They need to go and do some cultural lessons on different people. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we don't need segregation.
Yeah.
We need.
No, but when I say cultural schools, I mean like after school clubs and stuff.
I do.
There is a couple in Nottingham.
I don't believe.
But it's like that's it. That is important because you have the Muslim schools.
I'm not against faith schools.
You have certain schools where, you know, the Muslim children will go there and learn about the culture and who they are. They'll still do maths and English, but they'll always know who they are, where they're from.
I think.
But you see, like for black kids, there's not enough of that. There is, but it needs to be ingrained. Like I know our generation, the 80s babies, 80s, 90s, we're holding on to a generation that's passing. They're passing, and we're trying to get all the stories and the understandings of where we're from to pass on to our kids, because we know how important that is.
I think.
Do you know what I mean?
I think you're right with the faith school. I'm not against them. I think that you should definitely introduce schools.
Have your kids around kids that look like them.
Yeah,
because it will empower them.
I think that's really important. But I do think that a child should be able to go to any school, and there should
feel included.
There should be no restrictions on you know,
the knowledge that the teachers can.
Yeah, there should be no ignorance. We're in 2021. There should be no, and if you know if they are failing, it needs to be addressed,
and there needs to be more to it. You know. So there's a lot of funding coming out of the arts all the time. I'm always hearing that the schools are dropping art, the schools are dropping this. The kids need that to express themselves.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, because I'm a person with morale, yeah, the education system in this country should be paramount to anybody that's in a position of power in this country. It should be paramount, yeah. And obviously, it's not the first forefront of people's thoughts that are in these positions, because we've seen that with the school meals, and we've seen that with obviously young males from ethnic minorities, obviously not being able to achieve, as high as their peers and their other counterparts.
Would you feel like that can come from the home life and the school life?
I think
it's a whole psychological thing. Like, if you look at it, you'll be dissecting so many things that you have to look into.
But then we have
straightforward.
But then we have agencies to support people that are struggling, like, with their home life. And and if they're not,
it's a patient, so they have.
But if they haven't, then they're not in the right jobs. Yeah. They're not in the right position. So there needs to be a reform and a re-evaluation of people that actually want to make a difference and people that don't.
Yeah.
Because it can't just keep going, like, just swept under the carpet. I mean, the education system should be, like, paramount. So obviously, if that's the case, obviously in the UK there's a lot of influences as well.
I think that the kids need to, when they leave school, it's alright, no, maths and English and all that, but a lot of them are leaving school with depression, with anxiety, with pressure to get all the grades. What about the pressure to live? What about the pressure to live a healthy, we say happy, but happy is up and down. It's not a goal right now. Happy is not a goal. That's a lie, because that's pressure as well. It's pressure to be happy all the time. It's not real. That's not real. But it's like, okay, send your kid to school. Are you good at maths? Are you good at this? Are you good at that? No. How are you today? How did you feel today? Did anyone upset you today? That's the natural part of life skills. That's what we need to ask ourselves and address ourselves, and that's it in that way.
I think, like, obviously when
mental health is important over grades. I'm not saying grades can't get you anywhere. It can. But you can get the grades and not have the mindset to do anything else with it.
I think a lot of the people listening to this are saying, would think that it sounds so easy, but it's not, because I work, because I'm doing this, because I'm starting a business, because I've got all of this. But I think the thing is, when it comes to, like, obviously,
we left school chasing goals and not addressing how we feel. Do you know what I mean? Chasing goals, trying to get a job, all this. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying there's more to life than chasing goals.
Literally, sitting down with your kid for 5 minutes could change their life.
Yeah, exactly. It's done. Oh no, we're still on. It's still live. But it's true. It's deep. Because a lot of adults weren't even held. They weren't hugged or anything from the parents, and that's deep, because some people have their family and they wouldn't understand. Some that hasn't, And
this is the thing. So people like that are excluded from society because there's nothing in the manual that addresses people that do have these sort of circumstances, like people that are homeless.
Yeah.
There's not really much for them. I mean, there's drug rehab, but it's not working. These people are still in so much pain. We
need to address why they're where they are.
And it just goes deep into, like, the psychology of a young black male. I mean, it's in statistics that many black male homes don't have a male role model to aspire to, And obviously, if you're a single parent, and there are a lot of single black parents, you'll have to tune in for part 2.
Yeah. Thank you. We had a good discussion
like
today.
And subscribe.
Yeah.
You know what? Say that and just get people to come in.
One second. Yeah, we're still online. We've got 14 seconds to go. Yeah. But like and subscribe.
Yeah, and we'll put part 2 on if you like, if we get enough likes.
And listen out for more to come.
Yeah. Bye.